is all that?
All that?
Yeah.
That's the stuff for my big boy job.
Nerd.
Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Played Out. Hey, that's not this show. It's not. No, this is the one where this is the movie one, right?
Yep.
This is Get. Oh wait, no, hang on. We have to. Okay, so welcome. I'm Hot Toddy.
I'm Miss Pingrino.
And welcome to an all-new episode of Get
Real.
Okay, there we go.
Wanted to go Played Out just like you did because you had said it.
Well, because it's easier to say. Played Out seems to kind of roll off the tongue a little easier than Get Real, even though we don't ever do well, we do Played Out, but we rarely do Played Out. It's just kind of like every once in a while. Although Get Real, because we're slowing down in the movie season now, it's kind of every once in a while now too, which was the point I was going to get to. It's been a minute since we've done a regular episode of this. It's episode 51. Yay! I don't know what that means. It just means we've done 50.
We've done a lot of them.
We've done 50 other episodes.
Yeah.
Well, you've been on most of them.
Most of them.
You've not been on all of them like me. Well, no, I haven't been on all of them. There was a few I wasn't on.
One eternity later.
But anyway,
that's lovely.
We're here.
Yep.
And I thought we were done with the scary movies, Miss Pingrino, after The Haunted Mansion, but here we are with another one. We're going to talk about A Haunting in Venice. And oh, how haunting it was. Miss Pingrino, what did you think of A Haunting in Venice?
It wasn't very haunting. I don't like scary movies, let's put that out there as a preface, and I still wanted to go see this because it's like a murder mystery, scary thing, so I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be great.
And it just wasn't for you?
It wasn't for me. It really wasn't. It wasn't scary at all. Like, I had built this up for myself, and it just wasn't.
And see, this is where we where our paths we're going completely different directions on this episode, because I thought it was appropriate. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be for a movie like this. It just seemed like, your typical. It is what it is. It's your typical murder mystery. Everybody comes together for some reason.
Yeah.
Somebody gets killed. Then the detective says nobody's leaving until we figure out who did it, and he locks everybody in. Nobody's leaving until we figure it out. Of course, this is the third installment of this character. Kenneth Branagh playing the detective. I'm not going to attempt to say his name because I will butcher the French language, and I'm never going to do that. But it's based on the Agatha Christie character.
Yeah.
Of course, all three of these movies that he's been in, because there's been three, it's a trilogy now, have been Agatha Christie stories. The first two used names from her novels, which was Murder on the Orient Express, and then Death on the Nile. Was it Murder on the Nile or Death on the Nile?
I want to say it's Death on the Nile.
Death on the Nile. Now this is
I keep saying murder, but I think it was death.
This is A Haunting in Venice, which is based on Halloween Party. That's what that was called in her world. But this is a very interesting character, very compelling character. I've actually never seen the other two movies in this, but I like that character, and I kind of want to go back and watch those movies because I just really like this character, because it's your typical very highly intelligent Sherlock Holmes detective. Like, you think he doesn't know, but he knows. Ooh, you owe me a Coke.
Pinch poke.
Not. Haha, not so fast, eager McBeaver.
So let me be frank as to why I didn't like it. It's not that
Can I still be Hot Toddy?
Sure. I guess I was.
I'll be here all week.
Okay.
That shit was ass.
Can I talk?
Go right ahead.
I never get to talk in this show. Every time I get cut off. You always say I cut you off, but I get cut off all the time in this show.
Go ahead.
I feel like he's going to do it again.
I'm not. I am ready for you to speak. Go for it.
Okay. So
the best part of the film for me was,
oh, somebody kill me, please.
So I guess, kind of in the same way as the Barbie movie, I was going into this with a different expectation of the movie.
Sure.
Than what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was literally going to be more haunting.
But see, that's what I loved the most about it, was that it built it up to be like this supernatural thing. It wasn't. Spoilers ahead here. There was no supernatural entity. Nothing was happening supernatural. No, there was nothing supernatural happening in this movie. But it made you think there was. But really, it was all real. Everything was real, and it was real people doing real things to screw everybody over. It was a really great, in my opinion, plot for a movie like this. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
No.
I guess, again, if I was going into it thinking, oh, this is strictly a murder mystery, there's nothing else about it, I would have been more involved in it. I would have been more like, yeah, I do like this. Because I love murder mysteries. That's like my thing. I love them.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Why did this one turn you off so bad?
I just think I was expecting something else. And when you go in expecting something else, it almost kind of breaks your heart a little bit. When it's not that.
Is that how we're going to put it? It breaks your heart a little bit?
It breaks my heart a little bit.
I thought what we had was special!
I expected I get there was nothing like haunting legitimate about it. But
Right.
I felt like they could have played on it just a wee bit more.
But you know what? That drove right there is played out.
I just felt there could have been more haunting things that happened, more spectacular events.
Well, for the lack of horror that was actually in the film, there were plenty of moist eyes. Did you notice that in this film?
Let's not say that.
You hate that word, don't you?
I hate that word.
Let it go.
No, like...
Oh, bad.
Like, did you notice when they would get close-ups of people, everybody's eyes were just super, like, wet and red. Like, they weren't even crying. Their eyes were just, like, everyone was high on set or something. I don't know. I just
Maybe
noticed
they
that.
were.
I don't know. But, like, it just
we'll
felt like everyone was just
Well,
their eyes were, like, bleeding. I don't know.
They were supposed to be very emotional and sad, all of them. So
I guess. But I liked it. I liked the ambiance of the film. This movie was also directed by Kenneth Branagh, who played the detective. He's directed all three of these movies.
Yeah.
And he's a great director. He's done a lot of great films. I personally loved his Frankenstein remake. He redid Frankenstein. He played Dr. Frankenstein, and Robert De Niro was the monster. Like, that's just amazing casting. Like, you would never think about Robert De Niro, Mr. A. But he, I don't know why I did that. That was bad. I apologize. He's never really been A, but...
That's in poor taste.
You wouldn't expect him to be the monster either, and yet he pulled it off. It was in the 90s, and the 90s was a weird time for the classic horror movie monsters, because you had Gary Oldman as Dracula, and then you had Robert De Niro as the monster, and you had, I forget the guy's name, but they redid The Mummy, and Brendan Fraser was the star of that movie, so
okay.
You're done. You're done.
My point is that Kenneth Branagh is a great director. He even directed the first Thor movie, so he's got his hand in
know how I feel about that.
in the cinematic universe. So it's great. But he plays these characters very well and does. Well, I forget. He's also a great actor, but you would know him best as Gilderoy Lockhart from the second Harry Potter movie.
I do.
The Flim Flam Man.
Yeah, didn't like him.
Yeah, he was a jerk in that movie.
He's a jerk face.
And my favorite character he played was Dr. Arliss Lovelace from Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, the Wild Wild West. Okay, that's enough because we'll get copyright strike. But so he's a very versatile actor. He reminds me a lot of Gary Oldman in that way. But I loved his character. I loved that type of character that he played. And did you notice?
Maybe.
The keen eye. There was a point in the beginning of the movie, like those first few minutes, where it was just kind of sluggish. The movie was very slow in the beginning, there was a Halloween party and talking to kids, and then Tina Fey is trying to talk Kenneth Branagh's character into coming out of retire, because he's retired at this point. He's kind of over it. He's done.
Yeah.
And and then they had the bird squawk. Do you remember that? The first time the bird went, "Ah!" He squawked real loud, and it was like a jump scare, and it startled me, and it was very reminiscent of Citizen Kane. Because in Citizen Kane, the movie kind of dragged, and then Orson Welles stuck in the middle of it, a bird squawking real loud, and a scene transition.
Yeah.
And it was done to wake the audience up because the movie was kind of
like the time his wife left him.
But and so it was brilliant. And I think Kenneth Branagh, I don't know if he did that on purpose,
probably,
but it was a great homage to Orson Welles. That way he used that bird that just squawked out of nowhere and woke us all up to get into the next scene. And so I was a fan of that. See, this is why I like the movie, because it was very artistic. It was very stylized. Cinematography, gorgeous. And they didn't use any CGI or anything. The only CGI they used was, spoiler alert, the death of Michelle Yeoh's character when she fell on when she got impaled. You could tell that was very cartoony the way she fell onto it. So that was it. Everything else was practical and it was beautiful, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I'm just kind of almost mad at myself that I didn't enjoy it as much as you did for being a murder mystery.
Well, even my review for it was fine. It wasn't the best. It was your typical detective movie trope. I mean, it was like I said, it's everybody gathers together for a reason. Somebody gets killed. Nobody leaves until we figure this out.
I kind of feel like
and then
murder
other people
mysteries
die.
Like that should be like sort of a Knives Out situation, like a funny situation.
Well, or Clue, because it was.
Or Clue.
Because I was comparing it in my brain. I was comparing it a lot to Clue because in Knives Out, people went on living their lives, and he just got around to interviewing everybody. Clue. This is your classic detective movie trope where everybody has to stay in one place until they figure out who the murderer is, and of course there are more. That scared the hell out of me. Sorry, that was our air conditioner. I apologize.
But I think that's when I see murder mysteries that are not like based on true stories or things like that. I feel like they should almost be comedic in a sense.
I guess.
So that kind of also threw me off a little bit. This is also hard for me because like he is Sherlock Holmes, and I just love Sherlock Holmes so much.
Yeah.
That comparing the two, he just doesn't do it as much for me as Sherlock Holmes.
Well, Sherlock Holmes came before the days of Agatha Christie, so so Agatha Christie had to basically create her own. I almost said Orson Welles. Create her own Sherlock Holmes. Oh, we're talking about Orson Welles, our very own Orson Welles from the Smokin' Hot podcast, who's a part of our show. Shout out to Mr. Welles.
Mm-hmm. What? Look, I don't need to do this. I've got a fish stick commercial in an hour. Oh, what the hell? I need the money.
I get it. I get that it's not your thing, but
I don't want to say I didn't like it though.
Would you if you read the books? Have you read the books?
I've read some of the books.
So do you like the books?
I like the books.
So I mean, it's the same thing. You like the books.
I do like the books. I just, sometimes you like the books, but you don't like the movie rendition of it.
I guess. But when I was talking about the cinematography and the way it looks, it was very much, I thought of it as sort of like the horror version of Oppenheimer, because there was a lot of like quick cuts looking at things and then it goes to another scene. Quick click, you look at it kind of just jump scares and then to another scene. And I kind of liked how that operated. Have we even discussed the plot of the movie?
No, probably not.
We're just 15 minutes into this. Yeah, I don't even know where we are.
Jumping around.
So the story is a girl gets murdered.
No, a girl they believe committed suicide.
That's right, and her mom.
Shut up!
Oh my God, I don't care!
Her mom is desperate for answers, and so she hires a medium to come and figure out if she can talk to the ghost. Meanwhile, Tina Fey's character, who is sort of like the embodiment of Agatha Christie, calls upon her now retired detective friend, whoever that is, played by Kenneth Branagh. I'm not going to do his name because it's just impossible. And says, "This is a flim flam lady. You need to come and prove that she flim flam and she flim flam and try to convince the mother to stop spending her money on people like this because it's silly."
Basically, why she's trying to convince him to get there is because she has had 3 book flops. Of which the last one that sold well was about him, so she is trying to write another book about him.
Yeah.
Disproving or proving that this lady is for real or whatnot.
So fast forward, they come in, they do the seance, he proves it's flim flam, and then Michelle Yeoh, she is the medium, she ends up getting murdered, and so then they have to figure out who's doing the murdering. There's more murders, And now we get to the point of where the thing I didn't like about the film, and I'm not going to spoil it. Let's not spoil who it was, but the twist of the movie. There were two twists. The first one I saw
super predictable.
I saw coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this was boring. That should have been
Bad
somebody
choice,
else. It should have been somebody else.
Well, that's how the book was written.
Yeah,
So you can't really do anything about that.
So that's probably why this wasn't Agatha Christie's best. Which, by the way, if you recall, Agatha Christie had her own unsolved mystery. We don't know if she left her husband on purpose only to be caught and had to come back, or if she actually had amnesia and went and started a new life and then she snapped out of it and came back. We don't know how that actually happened. To her dying day, she says it was amnesia, but we don't know for sure.
It's unsolved.
Yeah, it's unsolved. But anyway, so I didn't like that trope. The person who did it in the end, it was really a knockoff at that point.
You guys, if you watch it, you'll know.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, that was kind of But then there was a second twist at the end. There's some blackmail involved, and the person you find out who's doing the blackmailing.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
I was blown away by that, and I said, now that's how you do a twist. Take a lesson, M. Night Shyamalan. That's what you do right there.
Oh, good for you.
For as much as I disliked it, the actors were really good. The actresses were really good.
That role was made for Tina Fey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought, when I found out she was going to be in this movie, I thought, oh, God, she's going to try to be serious.
And she's not serious.
And it was not going to work for her. But no, it was perfect because she's someone who's serious, but is also very, comic. She was sort of comic relief in the film.
Yeah.
But, she was very well put together and sophisticated. But it was funny sophisticated,
Yeah.
Sort of like a Kathy Bates type. And she was really good in the movie. She kind of made the movie for me. I wanted more Tina Fey in the film. I was surprised I was saying that. I was like, I want more of her.
Oh, more Tina.
Because she's the one that discovers Michelle Yeoh's body after it happens. And her look of fear it was actually really, really good. So I was impressed with her performance, really a lot.
I love Tina Fey. So.
You gotta be a weirdo to not like Tina Fey anyway. But the fact that she did it so well, I was down for that. But then also the character that Kenneth Branagh plays, you could tell, even though I've not seen those first two movies.
I enjoy that character.
I like that character,
yeah.
And you can tell that there's been a lot of growth to his character over the course of these three films.
Maybe also I would have liked it better if I had seen the prior two.
I don't know because, you would have been more used to Kenneth Branagh's character, but it's not like something you have to follow.
No, but I would have been more prepared in the sense of what we were going in to see.
I guess so.
So I would have. I probably would have been happier with it because I would have known what we were going to look at.
Maybe so, but I do like that character a lot. And I would want to see those other two movies just for his character alone. I really like that. And I do like.
Maybe do that.
But did you not like? So you didn't like the atmospheric horror elements to the film? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think there was enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't very horror in my mind.
Okay.
The jump scares, not very jumpy. I'm a jumpy person, and I didn't really jump. Which
is the pro for me because I think jump scares are a little too easy to do for horror films. It's it's like, okay, that's great, but what makes a really good horror film is that atmospheric. And that, the fog setting down over the creepy building, and then
that's so true. But
I love the atmosphere.
I wanted more atmosphere.
Right,
I wanted more,
and I was rooting for that as well. But the jump scares, they kept them to a minimal, and I liked that. I liked that they kept them to it wasn't just all about spooking you. It was creepy, and that was better. I liked the fact that it was creepy as opposed to either super jump scary or not scary at all. I like the middle, but they could have used more atmosphere. I agree.
I want more creep.
And if they had that supernatural element, that would have been all right. I kind of would have been all right with that.
I feel like the trailers that they put out sort of advertised for more creepy, more supernatural, and that wasn't in there for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Again, an overall pretty decent movie.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the movie.
It was a fine film. Yeah.
I just wanted more from it that I didn't get.
I get that. Now let's get to the best part of the movie, Miss Pingrino, and that's the runtime.
Yeah.
This is so exciting!
They said online that it was 103 minutes,
Yeah.
which had been an hour 43, but it wasn't. It clocks in around the movie itself clocks in about an hour 35, maybe. So it was a 90-minute film. It was an hour and a half.
Thank God.
And it felt so fast because we live in this era of the 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie.
Literally, I'm going into this movie also thinking we're going to sit through it this long. Because every movie lately has been between 2.5, 3 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that is where it has been. And then
even the Haunted Mansion was 2 hours.
Yes. And Hot Toddy over here is like, nah, it's only an hour or something. And I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because not that I don't like longer movies. It's just, sometimes I don't have the mental capacity for that.
And there's no reason to drag this out.
Right.
Why
Some of them
make
just
it?
Don't need. Most of them don't need it.
It's like,
so that was beautiful. That was great because it was back to the normal runtime of what we're used to in movies. So they got to the point, you got what you needed to see without seeing all this extra that is just that is extra that you don't need.
Because a lot of directors would want to take that artistic route of putting all these artsy-fartsy things. It was perfect. It was artistic enough, perfectly executed, in and out, 90 minutes, and it felt so fast, again, because we have not seen a movie that's 90 minutes in a long time. So it was very refreshing to see it so fast. Oh, hats off, Kenneth Branagh. Hats off.
Thank God.
Yes. So, Ms. Pellegrino, would you recommend A Haunting in Venice?
Yes and no. Mm-hmm. Probably recommend to maybe like watch it at home. I don't know if I'd recommend in theaters.
Well, I think that's probably going to be the case because it's already bombed at the box office.
It's probably not going to be in theaters very long.
Yeah, so...
I think it'd make for a great movie night.
Sure.
To have people over, this murder mystery. Take it as what it is. It is a murder mystery. There is no haunting part to it, even though they kind of...
Not a lot of horror
push for that. Not a lot of horror. It's not scary.
Horror.
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 Take it for what it is. You know, it is a murder mystery. End of story. That is what it is. So enjoy it as such. Again, I don't know if I would go to the theaters to see it. I do think you should watch it. It is good. But I think it's more of an at-home movie night kind of thing.
And I would agree wholeheartedly with that. It was an enjoyable film. I'm not mad that we spent money on it. I think it was a good, fun movie to go see. But now that we've seen it for you, if you've not seen it yet, maybe wait till it comes out because it's not. If you're a big fan of horror, it's horror. It's not going to be scary enough for you. If you're into if you're into the mystery movie trope of whodunit, a predictable ending with your typical nobody's leaving until we figure this out. Then this is the movie for you. Yeah. Even that being said, though, I just feel like with ticket prices these days, it might be better for you just to wait till it comes out at home.
I mean, even if you had to pay the $20 to rent it at home, that's one $20 fee instead of everybody who wants to go see the movie.
Yeah.
$20 a ticket basically nowadays. It's absolutely insane.
And it's not a movie that is good for like the theatrical experience. It's just a good movie.
Yeah, it's just a good movie.
Watch. So I recommend it, but I would wait as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Haunting in Venice.
Hot Toddy, phone for you.
Oh no, not this again. Okay, so we watched a scary movie, and now the phone's making an appearance, and of course, I want to answer the phone, and somebody's going to say something scary, and oh. Hello? What do you know? Nothing scary about that. All right. Well, thanks. Nice try, Miss Pellegrino. Nice gag. There you go. Hey, we'll see you next time on Get Real. Let's go out of here. I'll put the phone down. Let's go. Come on.
Come with me to the grave.
Oh, shut up.